If you're overwhelmed, frustrated, and sick and tired of the clutter in your life, maybe it's time to do something about it. In this podcast, the most organized man in America, Andrew Mellen, demystifies how to organize your world. Andrew gives you the keys to stop clutter from robbing you of your precious time, freedom, and joy in your life. Here's your host, Andrew Mellen.
Welcome to Declutter Your Life. I'm your host, Andrew Mellen. Today's topic is regret, which sounds a little grim, but actually I think it's really an empowering topic to talk about. I happen to be in Oklahoma today preparing for a training, and I was just talking with my accountability buddy and talking about the micro regrets and the macro regrets and thinking about the work that I'm here to do with these folks today. And the idea that when we get to the end of this experience, and we don't know when the end of this experience is going to be, we don't know when we're leaving. Unless you have some sort of a terminal diagnosis and they've given you 6 months. And then obviously we know that there are many people who have been given those kinds of diagnoses who survive long beyond them and other people who succumb much quicker. So even if the medical community has given you some sort of timeline, it's not always accurate. And barring that, we don't know when we're leaving. So with that in mind, thinking about how we spend our time, and this is what I'm thinking. If you're listening to this podcast, chances are you are not in a daily struggle to survive. Now, again, there's a macro and a micro to that. I'm talking about financial survival. I'm talking about having to work on a daily basis to be able to keep a roof over your heads. Now, you might be in that position, and if so, we need to do something to get you out of that position. And we'll cover that in a future podcast. But assuming that there's enough money coming in that all of your food, clothing, and shelter are taken care of, what you do with the rest of your time beyond that, beyond trading your time for money, is the big question. Are you accumulating things that don't serve you? Are you digging yourself out of a pile of historic accumulation? What are you doing with your time and with the stuff that surrounds you? And from my point of view, my concern, what drives me is I don't want you to get to the end of this experience and think, fuck, I want to do over. This is not how I wanted to be spending my time. If somebody would have told me that I would get to the end of this experience, I would leave a lot of things on the table that I wanted to do, whether you want to call that a bucket list or whatever you want to call it. There are things that I meant to do with this time, with this precious experience that I've got, and I didn't get to them. It breaks my heart, literally and figuratively, to think of any of us, me, you, anybody, getting to that point and thinking this is not fair. Well, not even fair is what's going to come up, but this idea of this isn't what I wanted. I want another go around, because you don't get another go around. It just doesn't happen that way. At any point today, you can pivot and make different choices. And there's nothing we can do about the time that's already been spent. There's a statistic that says that the average person will waste a year of their life looking for lost or misplaced items. I talk about this often. I call that nickel and diming ourselves out of a year of our life. It's 5 minutes here, it's 10 minutes there. We're going to say, oh, I'm going to make up that time. I'm going to get that time back. I know a shortcut. I know an easy way to close the gap. But the truth is, it's all bad math. You can't make up lost time. Once it's spent, it's spent. So if you don't have to spend all of your time struggling for survival, what are you going to spend your time doing? Are you going to spend that time trolling Facebook? Are you going to spend that time shopping and consuming things that you don't need, that are not serving you? Are you going to spend it volunteering at the soup kitchen? Are you going to spend it teaching your kids how to ride a bike or tie their shoes? Are you going to go watch somebody in a sporting event that you're related to? Or are you going to go watch pro sports? What are you going to spend your time doing? And I, on some level, don't really care what it is. What I care about is how you spend that time, meaning, are you spending it consciously? Is it a deliberate choice? If you have, and I'll make air quotes for you, for those of you who are listening and not watching, if you have extra time on your hands, Are you spending it fucking off? And it's your time. You can do as you wish with it. And when you get to the end of this experience, are you going to look back and say, God, I want that time that I spent on Facebook back. It was a waste of my time. If I would have known now, then what I know now, I would have made a different choice. That's what I want for you, is as of today to make a different choice. So let's just think about what is it that you can do on a daily basis about how you're spending your time to make sure that you're in complete alignment with the things that matter to you. So whether you're napping or curing cancer, it's still your time. You can spend it as you wish. Just let's have it be a clear and distinct and deliberate choice that you're making. As long as you're making it with awareness and clarity, it seems unlikely that you're going to have a regret. So that's what I wanted to say today is I want us to be in a position of power, of agency in our lives, that we are making choices that serve us both on the micro and the macro level, that we are not accumulating like we accumulate stuff and clutter. We're not accumulating regrets as well. Let's live in a regret-free zone just for today and then every day forward. We have that choice every day to renew that commitment to ourselves. Today is going to be a regret-free day. I'm going to make choices today that are in alignment with my values that will not create additional regrets. I'm moving out of that zone and into a new zone. So that's my wish for you today and really every day. So that's it for today's episode. Be sure to join us here for other episodes of Declutter Your Life. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Mellen. I'll look forward to being with you again real soon.
That's it for today's episode. Head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. One lucky person every single week that posts a review on iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 private VIP day with Andrew Mellen himself. Be sure to go to declutteryourlifeshow.com and pick up a free copy of Andrew's gift. And join us on the next episodes.